Hello Saltaire Primary School champions, welcome to today's assembly. It's all about being fair, respectful and kind, and we are going to be thinking about somebody very famous from history who had a message, and that message is one that we still need to hear today. So let's get started. I'm wondering if some of you have already guessed who this assembly is about today, or if you can tell where this place is in the picture. I'll give you a clue, because near to where this man is speaking to the crowds, the new President-elect Joe Biden will also make a speech on Wednesday as he begins his new job as President of the United States. So the place is Washington, D.C. in the United States, and that's where the President of the United States works in the White House. It's a bit similar to our own 10 Downing Street in London where our Prime Minister works. And it was in that place back in 1963, I'm just going to give you a little moment to try and work out just how long ago that was, that a young girl was taken by her father to Washington to hear a man talk. At first she couldn't really understand why her father would drag her along to hear a man giving a speech that just seemed to go on and on. But she does remember how the crowd began to respond to the speaker and how he brought his speech to its big climax, and the crowds began to shout and cheer, herself included. That was her memory of the I Have a Dream speech given by Dr. Martin Luther King. And it's stayed with her across the years as an inspiration to carry on striving for justice and freedom for everyone. Let's listen to her memories of going along and hearing that very famous speech, I Have a Dream.
What's a dream? Why, it's nothing. What does a dream do? Does it make sick babies better? No. Does it put money in my pocket? No. Does it grow food or provide shelter? No. A dream doesn't do any of those things. In fact, a dream don't do nothing. A dream is just pictures in your head, nothing else. Is it? Yet now, those words, I have a dream, are some of the most famous words anyone has ever said. And just a man saying it changed everything. Everything. For people in America, it changed everything. And you know something? I was there when the man said it. I was there. It was way back in 1963. I was just a 10-year-old girl then. I still don't know what was going on in my father's head when he took me to hear a speech. I was 10. Speeches were just boring. Yeah, all those years ago, my father took me to listen to a speech by a man named Martin Luther King. And if my father thought I was going to be interested, he could just dream on. I sulked all the way on the bus. I sulked all the way as we walked to the place, because there were thousands of people. Thousands! And all of them were big adults, and there was just little me. Boy, I couldn't see anything. So, I sulked. Oh, and held on tight to my father's hand. Everyone was excited and talking. Then, it all went quiet. And my father lifted me up and sat me on his shoulders, even though I was 10, so I could see. And what I could see was this man in a suit, standing on a platform behind a microphone, and all around a huge sea of people. Then he started talking, and boy, I had no idea anyone could talk that slowly. It sounded to me like more useless talk, and all I wanted him to do was to get a move on so we could all go back home. People kind of clapped politely every now and then, and I didn't take much notice. Then he started talking about freedom and justice, and the people listening got more excited and started cheering. Because you need to understand, the things were pretty crazy in my country in those days. Some children couldn't go to the same school as other children. Some people couldn't live in the same part of town as other people. Some people couldn't get jobs to earn money like other people. Some people couldn't even sit in the same part of a bus as other people. Can you believe that? If you were one sort of person, you couldn't sit in the same seats as another sort of person. How crazy is that? And it was my people who couldn't do those things. Anyway, I knew things were bad for us and much better for other people. But Martin Luther King, he didn't say, go out and hate those other people. He said, we need things to be different for everyone. For everyone. And my father suddenly shouted, yes, yes, amen. He was getting real excited. I'd never seen him so excited. And he looked up and said to me, see, if you know that something can be changed, then you can try and change it. It's when you think it can't be changed, then you don't even try. Now, when I think back to that speech, that's what it did. It gave us all hope. It made us believe things could be changed. And once we believed that, we could do something. Because once you believe you can do something, often as not, you can do it. Anyway, as Martin Luther King talked, people got more and more excited. And then he said those words. And it was a dream of how things could be so much better. And I got caught up in it, like everyone else. I was yelling, amen, amen, and clapping and cheering. And then he came to the very end of his speech. He was talking about how the world would be when all the things that held us down were taken away, and we'd be free. When my father and I walked out of that place, we were walking on air. Everyone was full of so much hope, so much hope. And that hope has lasted me all the long years since that day. And because of that hope and belief, things are so much better than they were then. So much better. And I learned that day that talk is not useless, and dreams are worth having. And what I say now is, amen to that.
So one of the reasons that we are talking about Martin Luther King today is because it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it's an American national holiday marking the birthday of Martin Luther King, who was born on the 15th of January 1929, and this celebration is held on the third Monday each January. So Martin Luther King was a Christian who was determined to make sure that all Americans had the same rights as each other, regardless of their race. Early in his career, he became a civil rights activist, and that means that he campaigned to improve the rights for people. And that's what he was doing on that day, giving that speech. On October the 14th, 1964, King received the Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial inequality through non-violence. And one of the reasons that speech resonates with people throughout the years is because of its repetition. It's really powerful. Take a listen to an extract of his speech.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
One of the things that really sticks with me about that speech is its repetition, and it does make it powerful. And it's almost saying that I'm just going to keep saying it and I'm never going to give up until we get what we need, which is equal rights. The US government brought in laws to ensure equal rights for all US citizens, to give everybody the chance to vote. And tragically, just a few years later, in 1968, Martin was murdered. About 300,000 people went to his funeral. But it's because of Martin Luther King and others like him that people in the United States have equal rights today, although there is still a long way to go. So why do you think it's still really, really important to remember the message of Martin Luther King and his I Have a Dream speech all these years later? Since that speech was made, much has changed and things are a huge amount better. However, we're still on a journey and there's still much to do. There are many things which are still unfair, which is why these Black Lives Matter protesters are still marching and campaigning, and not just in America, but around the world, including in the United Kingdom. On Wednesday this week, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will become the President and Vice President of America. You'll probably see him be sworn in at his inauguration on the news. They've promised to work hard so that America is less divided and more united. So the message of Martin Luther King lives on and gives us hope that we can be better tomorrow than we are today. So let's wish them the very best of luck with their promise. And we can all play our own part. Our champion learning behaviour this week is concentrate. So as we remember Martin Luther King, it's important to remember that being able to focus on one thing and think hard is so important, especially in times of change or challenge. Martin Luther King knew this, and he focused his mind on fairness and justice his whole life. And I bet Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be concentrating hard this week as they begin their new job on Wednesday. And concentration happens when we're really determined to be better. And I know that you'll all be busy doing the very same thing this week so that you can be better tomorrow than you are today, as we all strive to become our best selves. You might be interested in some extra reading about Martin Luther King and other famous black people who have made huge contributions to our history. I've sent you a copy of this assembly on eSchools along with a couple of links to his full speech and some other resources. We can all do our part in striving to be united, whether it's in the United States or the United Kingdom. After all, the one thing that we have in common is that we're all different. It's the thing which keeps us united. So that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed that and it gave you some food for thought. I'll look forward to talking about it with you in person sometime soon. In the meantime, look after yourselves and your families, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
When we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles,